Welcome back, Skidmore Family Farm friends. Today we're putting together a new chicken water, and I'm filling it up now, and I will demonstrate how it works here in just a second. Okay, what we have here is a bucket, and I'm guessing it's like about 3 gallons, 4-gallon bucket. I haven't measured it out to see what it holds. It's not quite a 5-gallon. But you put these chicken cups on here and you drill a 3/8 inch hole into the side of the bucket, and you could do multiples on this if you wanted to, like I did, or you could just do one. I think one, they say, is good for about 6 chickens, so I could have went with one with just our 6 reds, but we also have the black sex lynx and black australops and the barred rocks, which gives us a total of 12 between all of them. So I just went ahead and put 2 on it. And what they do is you fill this up full of water. As you can see, it's got water in it. I filled it up and the cup is empty, but the chicken comes up and hits the little lever, and as you can see, if they hold it down or move it around in any way, it's like a ball valve on the end of this, I'm assuming, and it's spring loaded. So any movement creates the spring to move in and makes an opening on the ball valve. Just like a kitchen faucet or anything like that, when you move the handle around, essentially that's like a ball valve that directs water into the faucet. It recommended Teflon tape, which I put some on it, but it looks like this one is still leaking. It has like a rubber washer here where it meets the bucket, and it recommended the Teflon tape, but it looks like it still might have a slow drip. At that rate, I'm not really too worried about it, and that might even stop. This one over here doesn't seem to be leaking, but as you can see, it's very slow leak. There's a drip, it's coming out right there. And it may just be a matter of putting more Teflon tape on it, but you can see this one lets water into, and it stops when you let off of the little lever. It stops. So as long as I get this leak fixed, or if the leak stops, you're not wasting nearly as much water. That little cup will fill up, they'll get a drink, and you can put a lid on it so it's not going to evaporate in the hot sun, except what's in the cup. If they don't drink all of what's in the cup, that would evaporate. So to me, this is a pretty good deal. I'm not sure how long one of these would last before it would leak. I would think there's probably seals in it. I haven't taken it apart. You could probably replace the O-ring or the spring that's in there that releases the water to give it more tension again if it would get too loose and start to leak. I'm guessing you could inexpensively do like a rebuild on them. But once we get the leak to stop and all that, even with the minor leak that it has now, the big bowl feeders and bell feeders that you use, they always get chips in it, or it's just dirty all the time. It's kind of a pain in the butt, and they're only like a gallon. I mean, you can get the big ones, but this is nice because I can sit this out there and then just take a gallon jug or pitcher or something like that, just leave the lid resting on there, walk out there, open it up and fill it up. I don't have to take anything apart, or like the bell waters, you got to unscrew them, and they're a pain in the butt. My wife has a lot of trouble with it, trying to separate the bottom from the bell part to refill it. They're just kind of a pain in the butt. To me, this is a better deal, and you get a lot more water. We've got, like I said, you could do a 50-gallon drum with this also. You could take the big water barrels and put those on it and set them up on something, and put these little watering cups on there, and I mean, you'd have a week, or depending on how many chickens you have, you might have a month's worth of water. Or if you have a water catchment system on the roof of your chicken tractor or chicken coop, I mean, depending on where you live, if you get rain once a week or whatever, you would could essentially just be checking the water, never even adding it. And that's what we plan to do, because I would like to make things more automated as possible when we get farm property, just for the simple fact it's just me and the kids and my wife likes working with this, but she has a normal job. She's a nurse, so she's not going to be there to work 10 hours a day doing farm chores. I mean, she'll be there off and on when she's not working, and on her days off, she's not going to want to work another 10 hours, so it's going to rely mostly on me to do the farm chores. So let's take this out here. I'll just leave the camera going, and I'll carry this out here. It's not too heavy, and I'll see if I can sit it on something. I'll get a brick or a block or something to set this on, and the chickens probably can just start using it today. I've got blocks of wood and stuff. I can set it up, and you can put these cups on the underneath side too and make them straight up and down, but I chose to do it on the side. Let me see, how am I going to do this? Let me sit this over here. I'll sit it on this chicken tractor. Now, it's a little heavy carrying it out here initially, if being full, but like I said, you get a designated spot for it, and you just leave that lid popped but rested on the top, and you've got 3 to 5 or 50 gallons, however big your bucket is, to allow that to be filled up. Or okay, I've set it in here, and they've all followed me in here. They think I brought food out, but I was hoping to catch them drinking out of it, or at least checking it out. And like I said, I might decide to hang that up. I mean, I just use this bell water here, and then I've got one over here too, and that's what I had kept in the chicken tractor and in the little coop that I had up by the house for the little chicks. And then I kind of put a little hiding spot over here for the chicks, since they're littler and the reds kind of pick on them. I was thinking that might give them a little bit of space of their own, or hopefully the hens will stay away from them, or let them hide in there or whatever without picking on them too bad. But here's what I was talking about, as far as, now it has this on here where you can hang it up, which I usually do, and I've just reorganized and set this chicken run up, so that might be something that I hang from one of these braces up here and let it hang down, so I'm not getting the wood chips in it. But they still like to move this around and splash it out, and even when it hung up in the chicken tractor in here, I had it on the bungee cord, and they still managed to spit or whatever, I don't know, backwash into it. It was always getting dirty in the bottom of it, so hopefully this wastes less water is what my hopes are, and allows for more storage of water. Like I said, I could run, if this had a roof on the pen, like the run, if I had a metal like lean-to roof instead of the netting, I could put a pipe coming down into here out of a gutter if it's leaning this way, so I could put a gutter up here and catch all the water off of it. And this pen is 24 by 8, so I mean you're talking with an inch of rain, you would be getting probably 15 gallons per inch of rain on a roof this size. So it would definitely fill this up, especially in Indiana in the springtime. I mean, you wouldn't have to fill it up for probably months. You just come out here and check on it to make sure it's not dirty or knocked over or anything, and go from there. Or like I said too, if you had a big, right where this sits here, I could have one of the like 35 or 55 gallon water tanks, the water barrels, rain barrels, and that alone with this, if this was covered with the roof, would be more than enough to keep 12 or even 20 or 30 chickens watered with the amount of rain that we get on an average. I mean, it would fill it up. By the time it started getting low, it would most likely get filled up again. It would be ready to rain. So I think this is something we're going to keep going with and see how it works out. Hopefully the chickens will adapt to it. I'm going to go ahead and refill these, but we'll probably get some footage later on when we get back from vacation and see how they're using we'll set up the tripod out here next to the chicken water, and you can see how the chicks and the chickens come up and utilize this water. Right now they're not paying too much attention to it, but I think what I'll do is I'll fill it up. I'll set this up here to keep them interested in it, and then I'll fill this cup up, hold that down, see I let off, it stops, and then I'll do the same over here, and when they go to drink that, they'll figure it out eventually. Chickens are pretty curious in nature, so it'd just be a matter of time, especially if it was summertime, before they'd get thirsty and start searching for water. Right now, this time of year, it's not very hot out, so they're more worried about just eating, and that's it right now. They're only going through a gallon of water about every 3 or 4 days. Well, yeah, like I said, the curiosity is getting to him. She's already trying to scratch it. What is this thing? What's it do? Why? What's under here? There's food under here. Oh, water in here. What's going on? Let's look, investigate. Oh man. Yeah, they'll get it figured out. I'm just hoping they leave the chicks alone while I'm gone. Hopefully I don't come back to one-eyed chicks or dead chicks. Well, it's a couple hours later since I put the bucket in there, and I've got the chicks rounded up, and they figured it out. It's a little bit closer to them as far as being able to see it because they're not quite as tall, so they immediately went for the cups when I put them in, and they know that that's a source of water now, so it'll just be a matter of time before they get it figured out that if they pull on the lever, the little yellow piece, that more water comes out. They move that little yellow stick around and the water drips in. Well, they're not the smartest, but when it comes to food or water, they usually figure it out. So I think we'll be all right. And everybody's kind of keeping to themselves now. Chicks are over here huddled up. He's gonna come over here and instigate a little, but they know I squirted them with a squirt bottle quite a few times, and They don't let the chicks get in their way, but they're not quite as aggressive as they were yesterday. I think they realize that it's not a big deal, that there's plenty of food, and the chicks try to mind their own business. And I put that tote back there so they kind of got a little small space of their own if they need to huddle up in there at night, if the reds are picking on them or won't let them in. So I think that's where they slept last night. I threw them under that, forced them under there, and they came out and then realized it was a safe place, so they went back in it. I think they hung out there through the night. But I'm getting ready to get them some more food, and I rigged up a little board right here that'll hold the fence so we can kind of open it and close it and it'll stay. And then I just got to get something to prop the door open here so they can get in and out. But I think they'll be good. We haven't really had any problems with raccoons or anything like that yet, so that would be about the only thing that we would have to worry about, other than people, somebody else getting in here and trying to get them or something. But as you can see, the netting and stuff's going to protect them from hawks, crows, anything like that that would get in to try and harass them. It'd just be possums or raccoons at this point that we would have to worry about, and we haven't had any problems with those yet. So everybody seems to be grooming themselves. Alright, well, we'll just add this to the videos. That's going to wrap up this video for Skidmore Family Farm. The watering cups, automated watering system. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Hit the thumbs up to like the video, and hit the notification bell to get all our latest videos. Thanks for watching.